Hello, welcome to the Security Update with me, Hamse Daabjeerin. In this program, we'll be covering for you the latest stories that matter security in the African countries from West to Horn of Africa. Ahead of the program, Somalia Prime Minister meets with top security officials following recent attacks. Al-Shabaab confirming the death of Kenyan soldier killed in an attack. Ethiopians welcome humanitarian truce. Plus, gunman attack train with hunters on port in Nigeria. Welcome to the program. Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble met with the senior officials of the country's security agencies under African Union mission in Somalia on Sunday. They probed the security labs that enabled Wednesday's terror attacks on Beledweyne and Mogadishu. The Prime Minister instructed the security chiefs to conduct a thorough investigation into the attacks and strengthen security in the country, especially at polling stations ahead of presidential elections in Mogadishu. He appointed a joint committee of government and AMISOM security officials, which he promises will take immediate action. During the meeting, officials strongly condemned recent attacks which Al-Shabaab claimed. On Saturday, President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo met with the commanders of the armed forces, police, corrections and intelligence. The federal ministers of internal security and defense were absent from Saturday's meeting chaired by Farmajo, but attended the Sunday meeting with Prime Minister Roble and heads of security agencies, including the Somali Police Force Commander, General Abdi Hassan Mohammed Hijar. There are growing concerns on security ever since Al-Shabaab attacked Mogadishu's airport and killed dozens of people, including foreigners. The United Nations has called Somalia leaders to intensify war on terror. United Nations has urged Somalia leaders to intensify operations to eradicate terrorism acts in the Horn of African nation. In a statement, Security Council members condemned the deadly attacks in Mogadishu and Beledweyne that killed more than 50 people and wounded over 100 others. These attacks claimed by Al-Shabaab. Among those killed was a firebrand member of parliament, Amina Mohammed Abdi, who was on campaign trial in Beledweyne when a suicide bomber targeted her. The council expressed concern about the threat to peace and security posed by Al-Shabaab in Somalia and the region. The members of the Security Council underlined the need to hold perpetrators, organizers, financiers, and sponsors of these reprehensible acts of terrorism accountable and bring them to justice. They urged all states, in accordance with their obligations under international law and relevant Security Council resolutions, to cooperate actively with the federal government of Somalia and all other relevant authorities in this regard. The Federal Police of Somalia says the growing drug consumption in the country has rolled insecurity and warned individuals involved in smuggling into Somalia and pledged to face legal punishments before the public. The country's police spokesman Abdel Fattah Adan Hassan has confirmed Somalia is at war with drug users and traffickers amid the security deteriorating. He believes drugs play a role in insecurity, noting that the drug problem was not limited to Somalia. The police underlined that the security agencies and civilians are cooperating ways to tackle the drug problem, saying efforts are underway to focus on ways to resolve the drug problem. The remarks of the police come amid the capital is struggling to curb insecurity and attacks by Al-Shabaab. On Wednesday, two armed Al-Shabaab fighters had stormed a heavily fortified facility at Aden International Airport. The area also houses Western diplomats, UN, and African Union mission in Somalia. Al-Shabaab confirmed the death of Kenyan soldier after it carried out an attack on AMISOM's base in the lower Juba region of Somalia. Initial reports said that the heavy fighting lasted for about an hour and the sound of gunshots, which could be heard as far as the Kulpio area, resulted in casualties at the Kenyan army base. Al-Shabaab has launched an attack on the African Union mission in Somalia's base in the lower Juba region. The group confirmed the death of one Kenyan soldier. However, AMISOM and Kenya authorities are yet to respond to the claims by the group. According to sources, fighting ensued between the AMISOM soldiers, specifically from the Kenya pocket, who were responding to the attack, and the militant group. Eyewitnesses said that the heavy fighting lasted for about an hour and the sound of gunshots, which could be heard as far as Kulpio area, resulted in casualties. at the Kenyan army base. The group seems to be intensifying its attacks against government officials and civilians as they have claimed responsibility for Beledweyne, Mogadishu and Afurur attacks that occurred within a week and claimed the lives of more than 8 people in Addis Ababa welcomed news of humanitarian ceasefire in the north of the country after the federal government announced a unilateral humanitarian truce on Thursday. But we will be back after the short break.
Making documentaries is one of the most creative craft and challenging endeavors you can be involved in. It is an effective strategy to inform, persuade, educate, defend the perspective and shed light on various issues, policies and activities. At CBA TV, documentary production is our forte. We capture every TikTok detail of events in highest resolution to tell the story you care about, from politics to human angle, research-based content, educative and informative. We also help you project your story in a dynamic perspective that attracts the world views of the target audience, as there is no better or more powerful way to place the organization's values and achievements than to make an excellent documentary film. No doubt, our strength lies in these ventures, and we pride in many award-winning documentaries which have been earning accolades across Africa and beyond. Let's tell your story.
Welcome back again. People in Addis Ababa welcomed news of humanitarian ceasefire in the north of the country after the federal government announced a unilateral humanitarian truce on Thursday. Most of them expressed optimism and said it was a decision that came at the right time. Some of the Ethiopians in Addis Ababa have overwhelmingly supported and welcomed the humanitarian ceasefire that was declared by the federal government at the end of last week. They believe this can play a role in restoring peace into the country. They said it was a decision that came at the right time and now people can eat their bread with peace. Ethiopia's government declared a surprise truce Thursday, saying it hoped the move would ease humanitarian access to Amhara, Afar, and Tigray regions hit by fighting. On Friday, the Tigray People's Liberation Forces said they were ending hostilities in response to Addis Ababa's announcement after their attempt on the capital was defeated last December. The TPLF attacked the Afar region, blocking a vital route for emergency aid. Fighting broke out in Tigray in November of 2020 after loyal to the region's ruler attacked federal army bases, killing soldiers and looting weapons. Last June, Addis Ababa announced a truce and withdrew its forces from Tigray, only for the rebels to attack neighboring regions in their bid to advance to the capital. Unidentified armed men on Monday evening attacked a train carrying hundreds of passengers to Kaduna, northern Nigeria. The gang, popularly called bandits, laced the track between the capital Abuja and Kaduna city and forced the evening train to halt.
Unidentified armed men on Monday evening attacked a train carrying hundreds of passengers to Kaduna in northern Nigeria. The gang, popularly called bandits, laced the track between the capital city, Abuja, and Kaduna and forced the evening train to a halt. Many of the nearly 1,000 passengers on board took shelter as shots were fired. The Kaduna state government confirmed the attack but said it was successfully repelled, while those who were injured have been taken to the nearest hospital. Following increased attacks and kidnappings on the main road between Abuja and Kaduna, many travelers now prefer to travel by train. This is the second time the railway has been attacked in the last 6 months. Kaduna is one of the states most affected by banditry in northwest Nigeria, with thousands of people killed or kidnapped in recent years. Kidnapping for ransom has become commonplace in northern Nigeria, and bandits, as they are popularly known, are becoming increasingly bold. Kamil Sadiq, reporting for CBA TV, Nigeria.
Al-Shabaab has launched an attack at Urur village in Puntland. No immediate casualties have been reported. Residents say the attack started just before morning prayers. Reports from Urur village in Puntland, Paru region, say that Al-Shabaab militants attacked a Puntland military base early Sunday morning. Al-Shabaab launched the attack with mortars and small arms fire, followed by a gun battle between Puntland forces and Al-Shabaab. The attack started just before dawn prayers. Al-Shabaab has previously attacked Urur, 70 kilometers from Bosaso, in one of the deadliest attacks in Puntland. More than 50 Puntland soldiers were killed in an Al-Shabaab attack on Urur in June 2017 after raiding a Puntland military base in the region. For over a decade, the group has been waging a deadly war against Somalia's internationally backed government. On several occasions, the regional administration forward to eliminate Al-Shabaab from its territory, but it still seems to be functioning and carrying out its attacks. Burkina Faso security forces have arrested the former speaker of the ruling party days after he advocated for the immediate release of ousted President Roch Kabore, who is also the leader of the former ruling party, was arrested by police at his home early on Sunday morning.
Alassane Bala Sakande, who is also the leader of former ruling party, was arrested by police at his home early on Sunday morning. He stands reproached for remarks he made at the news conference of his party, the People's Movement for Progress, held on 24 March. The AFP news agency quoted his lawyers as saying, Mr. Sakande said that the former president was not under house arrest but in detention due to the difficult condition he had allegedly been subjected to. The former president was deposed in January and has been held under house arrest since then. The West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS, which has threatened to impose further sanctions on Burkina Faso, has demanded his unconditional release, but yet to be released.
And with that story of Burkina Faso security forces have arrested the former speaker of the ruling party, will wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us. My name is Hamse Daabjeerin.